This is Sam from Wild, Florida. Welcome to the podcast. Joined with me today is Sam, our co-owner. How's it going?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
So today, just wanted to talk about a couple things Wild, Florida based, just to do an introduction for this podcast. So first things first, how did Wild, Florida come about? What was the storyline for that?
It's kind of a long story. You okay with the long story?
We're good.
Okay.
We're here all day.
It's a long and winding road that got us to where we are in this lovely banana garden here for the podcast. But it sort of had some ups and downs, some bumps in the road. But it started as back in 2008 as a distressed property sale. We thought that this originally was a fish camp. It was called the Cypress Lake Fish Camp and RV Resort, and we thought that it was a struggling property. And we came down here and talked to the owner that lived on site and tried to make a deal to buy the property. And that guy was very much opposed to us trying to sweep in, pull the rug out from underneath him, and so he ran us off and said, "We'll never sell. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh.
I hate you guys." And so we thought that was the end of it, you know. And little did we know there were more people involved, and the principal owner of the property that had more equity shares in it, he was ready to sell immediately. And so things started to change and turn in real estate, and the market fell out, and it became even more of a fire sale. And so luckily I found the other owner, who was an orthodontist in Winter Park, and he was the money, also the principal owner. And I approached him, and he said, "Yeah, we want to sell it right away." And he wanted to get away from the owner that lived here on site and was kind of running some crazy stuff through this business.
Yeah.
And so we got into negotiations, and by 2010 we were the proud owners of the Cypress Lake Fish Camp and RV Resort.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it really took some careful negotiations and planning to be able to buy the property.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we owned it, we immediately started to dream. We went into the dreaming phase of what this could become and what we wanted to do with it.
So you had no idea prior to purchasing the property? You had no idea of, like, what are we going to do with this place?
We thought we were going to be an airboat company and an RV park landlord situation.
Okay.
So we had about 57 units around the retention pond that were occupied for just a few months out of the year, and then about 10 that were here 24/7. They lived here nonstop.
Oh my gosh.
And it was interesting as we would drive around the retention pond on the sort of the back 40 of the 15 acres that we owned. You always felt like maybe we're in the wrong neighborhood, that this is sort of the rough part of town.
A little sketchy.
Yeah. And we knew something needed to change because we were making money on the airboat portion, but we weren't making it on the RV park. And there's a lot of contributing factors to that, and a lot of variables why RV parks struggle. But we knew that we needed to maximize the property. And so the first thing we did is we had a little community meeting and invited all the RVers in and said, "We're going to raise the rent a little bit." And they said, "If you raise the rent, we'll all leave." And that kind of lit,
you're like, oh, well,
the fire, and got us thinking, well, maybe we should have them leave, and we could convert the whole thing into a gator park.
Okay.
Turn our retention pond into
sorry, turkeys.
Turn our retention pond into a gator pond. And we knew that people loved to see our animals up in St. Cloud. I lived at the Zebra House up on Pine Grove Road. Everybody knew and I always had people stopping, trying to feed the zebras and drive through my front yard to get to them and everything. So we knew people liked our animals, so we thought, let's bring those out and eventually get a gator permit to have live alligators here, and let's just start creating this little attraction for people to come and do things while they're waiting for an airboat ride
and stay longer.
Yeah. So that was really the kind of the genesis of it, and from there the park just continued to grow and grow and grow, and I don't know how much detail you want to get into the logistics of how it grew and when it became a full circle versus a half circle, but we knew we had something special
for sure
because we had combined a half-day gator experience with an airboat ride, and people were really starting to say, wow, we can get the best of both of these worlds that already existed in Orlando. There were lots of airboat companies and there were some gator parks,
right,
and
but never two at one
never
facility.
In one spot. And so we really saw that as our niche, and continued to grow and add more animals, and that was, man, it was so fun because we'd be sitting around saying, what animal should we get? And I'd be like, man, I really have always wanted to have a bobcat. And so we'd dream it up, we'd build an exhibit for bobcats, and then sure enough someone would say, I've got a bobcat. And
you're like, sold.
We would take it in. It was really, really fun seeing that kind of go, and it still happens today, just like that.
That's amazing. So you would say the dream came true?
Yeah, I kept a journal in the first couple of years of Wild Florida's creation, and there were a lot of funny things that I wrote in there, and it's fun to go back and look. And,
so you still have it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And kind of read the things, ideas and stuff that I had, and a lot of them didn't happen, but a lot of them did. And one of the big things for us was that each of our families, each of the owners, and the Munns family in general, we have a ton of kids, and we like to go and do stuff with them, but it's got to be easy. It's got to be user friendly and pretty simple for us to navigate with all those kids, and so that's really kind of been our proving ground, and inviting out the family members, having them walk through, and we make changes and adjust as needed, whenever people have positive or negative feedback.
That didn't work, let's twist it. Oh, that still didn't work. Okay, let's go back, revise it, then it works.
Yep.
That's awesome. So now, 2024 Wild Florida, is there a future dream that you and the other owners have thought about?
Yeah.
I know we have our safari, that was another dream.
Yeah.
Safari was created, it's successful.
Yeah, so the property started at 15 acres, it grew to 85 and then 300, and we love the safari. That's another one of those user-friendly. You're in control, you're in air conditioned, doing an outdoor fun activity, and being able to see animals from all over the world. But we still have about 100 acres over there that we don't know what to do with. My dream, I mean, if you got each one of the guys in here and asked them, they'd probably say something different, but my dream is to have some sort of a lodge situation.
Okay.
When we first bought Wild Florida, there were 5 cabins, and I'm talking rustico, like gritty cabins.
For sure.
And
like might need a tetanus shot.
Yes, and I had to clean them sometimes. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, and but that was part of our DNA way back then. None of us really have any of that hospitality training or experience.
Well, the Australian Zoo has their lodge now, and it's super successful.
Yeah.
Of course, they are the Australian Zoo.
Yeah.
But
a little out of our weight class, but but yeah.
That's an awesome dream.
Yeah. So in Central Florida, there's a million hotels and vacation homes to stay at, but none of them have that. Besides Disney's Wilderness Lodge, that whole kind of rustic, still beautiful.
For sure.
In my mind, it's like a Bass Pro or Cabela's style. Yeah. That kind of a lodge doesn't exist out here, and it should, because we just are flush with hunting and fishing and camping
True Florida
stuff, and We're 45 minutes from the beach and 45 minutes from Disney, so it makes a really a good central location for someone who's looking to do something off the beaten path with a little bit of Florida culture.
Of course. So last question for you. Gotta ask this to everyone.
Okay.
Right now at Wild Florida, what is your all-time favorite animal that we've ever had or have right now? I know it's a tough one. We've got a lot. A lot
Yeah.
of special characters here.
For me, oh man, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because you got to think of the Gator Park, you got to think of Safari. And we've had so many special
Yeah.
ones.
Wow. So I really like the snakes.
Okay.
I really like some of the snakes in there.
At the venomous house?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The rattlesnakes and the water moccasins, the native Florida snakes, and I really like our crocs and gators. I think those are incredible. Probably though, my number one is the bobcat.
That was your dream. That was your original
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah.
The bobcats.
Yeah. For
Duke and Daphne.
stuff that we have right now, and animals that we have that you can easily see.
For sure.
Yeah, I would say the bobcat.
That's amazing. Well, thanks for joining us, Sam. We hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye, guys.